It's good to have you join us on today's episode of the program from the National Assembly, House of Representatives. I am Mitaire Ikpen. The House Ad Hoc Committee investigating employment racketeering in ministries, departments, and agencies of government has continued its public hearings with accusations, counter-accusations, and revelations emanating from the hearings. The Ad Hoc Committee has, however, reiterated its resolve to leave no stone unturned and get to the root of the matter. On this episode of the program, we now bring you one of those public hearings where the Federal Character Commission and the head of the Civil Service of the Federation appeared to state their positions on the matter.
We have to be guided today by time. Each and every person we give opportunity to will speak also based on the time allocated to you. 1. 2. We must not finish with an agency today. It may get to a level that we will defer our conversation with you and call you back as much as we will get the information we want to get from you. So I am saying this so that we will be guided. We should not sit with the impression that we are engaging Federal Civil Service Commission and the head of service of the Federation, etc., etc. Therefore, we must finish the engagement with a particular agency today. While we call for the, it's good I pass this information because the head of service of the Federation is here. We were interested in the first instance with about 6-7 agencies. Because you give approval, you give waivers, you give certificate of compliance. So we want to hear from you. That is why this engagement would have ordinarily been like information data collection engagement. But because we got so much information, accusation and counter-accusation, we are left with no option than to go into the deep of the matter by asking questions at this level. So we are interested in the head of service of the Federation, Federal Character Commission, Federal Civil Service Commission, IPPS. We will engage them all today because we have petition against all of them, budget office. Petition, I say it clearly, against all of them, all the agencies I mentioned, regarding to percentage collection, Racketeering, we have it factual. So at the point we get into that. But for now, let me ask the chairman of the Federal Character Commission to, as a matter of fact, give us the documents that we asked her to bring on Friday and today respectively. If you have any presentation to make presentation, adopt the document, tender them in evidence. Secretariat should not collect first. She is to adopt and tender. She laid the document before us. Give her the document. If there is anything she will say, before presenting, she will say it and later say that I, the Chairman Federal Character Commission, hereby adopt the document as I laid. We will have to be procedural. You are under oath, remember. All commissioners of the Federal Character Commission are under oath, except if there is a new person that is coming today that was not part of our meeting, can indicate by standing up, please. Any commissioner from Federal Character that is joining us today?
I have us submit my response to each of the applications with relevant documents and for the committee to pursue for appropriate action. I pray the committee to find time to read it thoroughly, and I promise to make myself available for any other clarification that may be required. Please accept the assurance of my hands to the time. Thank you.
Documents that the committee require from her in order to give us the enabling foundation to interact with other agencies, ministries, and departments of government. Those documents are clearly spelled out in the letter sent to all the agencies, including the Federal Character Commission. At our last sitting, she didn't give us the document, and we gave her up to today to give us those documents. Friday, Yes, I had a submission on Friday that was not completed, which I minuted to the clerk, that the document must be completed. And I'm very sure what you bring today, I should be sure, I assume to be sure, that what you sent today is a completion of the document submitted to the Secretariat area. The letter indicates that you have submitted letter of introduction on monitoring of recruitment and promotion exercises, letter of introduction from, it doesn't include waiver and certificate of compliance. And I have seen in your submission today, certificate of compliance and waivers. Although they are equally not up to date. But again, we must start somewhere. This was Friday, but the letter of today included the documents that we want from them, which are waivers and certificates of compliance. And I've seen 2022, 2023, we are asking from 2019, from 2015, even though there was a position last week too, that some of the documents were not found in the office. So when we get there, we will be able to ask questions as to why some of those documents we need are not there. We'll get there. But I have waivers. I'm coming. I have waivers from March to December 2022. I have waivers granted to agencies in the year 2021, and I have waivers granted in the year 2020, waivers of 2023. But we asked for this document from 2015 to date. So while we accept this as you tender, we equally ask you to find a way of getting us the remaining document. May I yield the floor to Honorable Wale?
To this honorable committee was to investigate this issue from 2011 to date. Mr. Chairman, I agreed that the chairman assumed office in 2020. Hence, he was trying to account for a tenure so far, as watched so far. Well, Mr. Chairman, I'm worried that you have a secretary who happened to be in office from 2015 to date, even from 2011. We had two chairmen. One acted, the commissioner from Zamfara State, who is on the state now, just a member. And we have another commissioner, the chairman from Ondo State, and they say, I like it. Mr. Chairman, there is no way that the constitutional office will come to this panel and tell this panel, this committee, that the documents in their kit are not available. It is my application, Mr. Chairman, that the secretary and the former chairman of this commission, they should be invited to account for those documents. We will not accept it. That's my application, Mr. Chairman.
That the preceding chairman or concerned should be invited, or the secretary to the commission who was covering the gap, yes. I don't want to say acting, yes, should provide this committee with the details of the document. Any seconder?
Hereby second the application as so moved by Honorable Wale Oke.
Those in favor should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. That the secretary to the commission, in addition to inviting any chairman that the document affected his tenure in office, we should provide this committee with the details, should appear and equally provide this committee with the details documents that are said not to be available. Thank you. We will move on. We will not argue. We will take decision as our verdict. You have to respect the position of the committee. And regarding to gap in documents, nobody should talk about it. The committee have taken the position that past chairman of Federal Character Commission be invited to appear before this committee as to why documents are not found in the Federal Character Commission, as well as the Secretary to the Commission should equally furnish this committee with information as to the Secretary is here, but let's get there first. So we have admitted the documents submitted, and we have equally ruled in that respect. To go to the main issue, let's finish with the business of accusations and counter-accusations. The chairman have submitted document as well as response. In respect, have you submitted your response regarding to the allegation? Is here? In this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And the response?
Will equally be fair to the other commissioners who have raised serious allegations against the chairman of Federal Character. The chairman equally, in her response last week, have equally accused those other commissioners of selling slot plus buying house in credit to finance it with slot. And I'm very sure it is put together in her own response here. But what I want Federal Character to understand is we will not be suffocated talking about the accusations between you and delay the main investigation that have to do with Office of the Head of Service, IPPS, and other ministries and departments of government. While we give you time to respond, we will make copies available and give the other commissioners. Because we have invited agencies from today till Friday, we will commence thoroughly our investigative hearing. So we'll give them from now till Friday to equally respond to the response of the chairman of the Federal Character as well as the accusations made against them, so that we will equally find again a convenient time to invite only Federal Character and members of the public to be with us here and bear us witness how we are going to ensure justice is done in terms of the accusation and counter-accusations among you. But what is most important is, instead of suffocating ourselves to accusation within the Federal Character, we have accusations against Office of the Head of Service, against Budget Office, against IPPS. We have petitions against so many 39 ministries and departments of government that citizens of this country forwarded to this committee. So we need to go into those ones. But before I listen to my colleagues if they have anything to add, we will require, because of the sensitive nature of this investigation, someone from Office of the Head of Service of the Federation, Federal Character, Budget Office, IPPS, Auditor General Office, to appoint a tax officer that will be with us in this city. So that where we need clarification on MDAs, they are filed, the tax officer should coordinate with the office to give us the information in order not to delay this committee unnecessarily, that someone will see that Head of Service is not here and you will be accusing her. Federal Character will not be here and you will be accusing Federal Character. So I want to say that you must, all the central agencies, the 6 central agencies, including the Budget Office, should give us one person that will be in all the cities of this committee where we need to seek clarification. A competent officer that can answer questions on behalf of those agencies must be with us here permanently. Now, the substance of the matter. Members of the committee, is there anything that anybody wants to say regarding to the issues we have ruled?
Mr. Chairman, you captured the issue appropriately. Fair hearing is your constitutional right. Just like we observed last week, when allegations were made against the chairperson. The chairperson, while responding, also made counter allegations, and she has submitted her defense. The allegation made against her. It's also proper and fit to avail the commissioners our own response so that they can also respond. And then this committee will sit in chamber to consider the submissions and then come up with a ruling. That's just the position of Mr. Chair.
Thank you. You have appeared. Now questions that have to do with your agency, federal character. Issue of allegations, we have ruled we are meeting on Friday. Please, nobody should bring it up. I will wish to see commissioners of federal character now responding to us as one team. There is equally an accusation about your agency of recruitment. We should start with that. That you have recruited. The chairman, is it true, and secretary, that federal character have done any recruitment that is not in line with the extant laws?
No, sir. You now go to budget office to understand if there is funds for it. And then there is also an appropriation by the National Assembly to cover for it. That is the normal process of recruitment. And then for us in the Federal Character Commission is for us to ensure that there is equity, fairness in the distribution of those positions, looking at the states, states that fall under or states that are above. So normally that is the process. So for us, in this year, we obtained an approval from the head of service, and of course we had parliamentary backing for the budget for it. The process is on, but it has not been concluded. That is to the best of my knowledge, sir.
We've not gone to IPPIS. We didn't take them for any IPPIS because the process is still on. So that's where we are.
Okay. From your submission of the secretary and the chairman, you had approval. The process has commenced.
Yes, sir.
But you have not taken them to IPPS.
Yeah, it's not concluded.
It's not concluded. Have letter been issued to beneficiaries?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
How many?
There about around 85.
Okay. Okay. It's been established, they have recruited, but the process has not been completed. I'm coming, sir. We need to make it clear to everybody that we respond. We, the members, we should do most of the listening. When we hear from them, we ask. You've gotten approval, you've employed, but the process has not completed because you have not sent it to IPPS.
Yes, sir.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Anybody that wants to say something?
Excuse me. Approval before, which we did not use. So we now sent another letter to them so that they can activate the other one.
The bottom line is that we have not
So we've
completed.
not concluded anything.
Members,
So we are waiting for the head of service
take note, members.
honor that for us.
Thank you.
I want to affidavit to support that he was hired and given letter of employment on January 2021.
It is the fact that they said they have recruited. Unless if what you are talking about is to say that the recruitment done has been taken to IPPS.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so now I will understand.
Registered in IPPIS and the young man had been collecting salary.
Where is the young man? For the purpose of openness, they will even consume your privileges. You should know that because you shouldn't come to testify and you know the consequences. If federal character before speaking are under oath, I think anybody tendering document here in this sphere, that person should be subjected under oath before he speak to us and tender document. That is how we will operate. Clerk, administer oath on him, let him speak and tender the document.
I do solemnly and sincerely swear. Affirm that the testimony I shall give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Sustain, point of order, sustain. Off your mic, please.
If you ask me, Mr. Chairman, I would suggest let him give his submission, then we'll verify. This is where it's like when in law court, where somebody can bring a hired witness to testify against whatever. So if you ask me,
Order. He had the protection of the chairman. Order. He should be held in silence.
yes. So if you ask me, Mr. Chairman, let the guy write his submission to the committee. We'll look into it and verify. Whatever evidence he gives now, we can't verify it. Because my submission, Mr. Chairman.
I said we must be open. That is why it is called investigative hearing. They mentioned the name to substantiate their position that recruitment had been done. This committee will not, we are not judiciary, we are not going to hang anyone. But our decision must be upheld at the end of the day. We must make sure that our decision is implemented. Just like commissioners of federal character spoke under oath, will there be any fairness to warrant a staff of the agency recruited in court to speak to us without subjecting him under oath? Subjecting him under oath does not mean we are ruling that what he said is true or not true. It's to enable us, is to give us the platform to be able to admit him and listen to him. That was why we say he should be subjected under oath. But it shouldn't mean that we are taking position or being judgmental about anything. So you are hereby ruled out of all this. I am asking you, are you a beneficiary of the recruitment exercise in federal
I
government?
was recruited since 2021 October. I did my IPs and whatever.
You are a technical member so that we will know the technicalities. I have a reason for allowing him to speak. You were employed when?
2021, sir.
2021.
Yes, sir. I did my IPS October 14, 2021. And ever since then, I've been making requests for my posting, and I was kept on posting, especially Polo, who gave me the appointment letter. He convinced me to be the executive chairman's special aids, for which I'm convinced because of his influence. So we keep on disturbing him. When we did the posting, he promised us 2 months. After 2 months, by December, we went to the asked the system. We have other colleagues that were
Sorry. You are employed.
Yes, sir.
IPPIS capture.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you receiving salaries?
I receive salary, sir.
What this committee wants to know is to establish you have been employed, to equally establish that IPPS captured you, and to equally establish that you are benefiting from salaries.
Yes, sir.
Do you know the number of people that have been employed?
Yeah, we are 27.
27.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
If we need you,
Those that came.
if we need you,
Yes, sir.
we are talking about employment or not employment, IPPS or not IPPS. We will not waste time here. If we need you to testify in evidence in furtherance to what we have established, we will invite you. Thank you and God bless you.
I'm the commissioner representing Oyo State at the Federal Character Commission. Now, in terms of proper recruitment, we have not done so. In the process of recruitment, 24 people came and they said they have been employed. 24 people. So later we now learned that a staff of Federal Character Commission surreptitiously issued letter of appointment to this category of people, 24 of them, surreptitiously took them to IPPIS for capturing, and ever since they have been receiving salary, we are able to know at the level of Federal Character Commission when we are about to start our proper recruitment. This set of people came. They said they have been recruited since last year by one Mr. Kolo. So when we sat at the Appointment and Promotion Committee, we found out that this Kolo actually extort money from innocent Nigerians, 1.5 million for some, up to 2 million. Then they issued them letter of appointment, took their names to IPPIS. They've been receiving salary. They themselves are surprised that they are not posted to anywhere. So they came that please post us somewhere where we will be working. We cannot be receiving salary in vain. When we now got all this information, we sent letter to AMCOM where Kolo is currently working. He didn't come. So we now recommend, as part of our recommendation to the chairman, that pass these things to DSS and ICPC for further investigation so that they can arrest the culprits in terms of people who cheated on the innocent Nigerians to give them false letter of appointment. They have been swindled. And that is the reality. But the swindler is known. The swindler is a known person. That swindler is what is Mr. Kulu. So an alleged swindler, you know, and unless the investigative authority, agencies that have been given authority,
Sir, don't worry about that.
yes,
It's in our place.
yes. So that is what really happened. Thank you.
Over 3 years now, this particular individual that are collecting salary and were giving a letter from this particular agency, and I believe their names are on the nominal roll. Is it that these letters just fell from the sky? And we had a submission of the gentleman who said there was even an SA in the office of the chairman. Did this commission take steps to arrest whoever gave out this letter, or even the beneficiary of this letter, to show that they were not complicit or equal accomplices in this particular act? Thank you very much.
My name is Clement Jimbo. I'm from Akwa Ibom State. The chairperson, Federal Character Commission. In your submission, there's a letter that is with me here. You categorically mention that you've not recruited in 2015, 2017, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. But contrary to this letter, if you look at one of the submissions, your payroll that you submitted to us here, I can spot out somebody that the commission recruited in 2020, sorry. One Mr. Olaboye Mutiu. He's a male with a file number P2587 with IPS number 490919. That is number one. Number two, there is equally somebody that the commission recruited in 2020. The name of the person is Nubu. And let me also buttress the fact that it is in your payroll submitted to us here. I didn't manufacture this. And I will tell you the number of the page where the name of the person is. Nubu Hanatu is a female.
Sir, you are my distinguished colleague, you are exposing us. Yes, we have our strategy and procedure of this investigation. What we want to do is to establish that federal character within itself have a question to answer regarding to recruitment. And we are using the person presented as a case to the commissioners that raised an objection against the chairman, as well as the person that spoke. Now, the submission of the federal character will be distributed to members with our consultants to scrutinize those. And when they appear on Friday, there will be a platform for you to go into nitty-gritties of questions so that, but if we go deep now, I think you will alert other agencies to prefer better and cover up a lot of things, which is not what we want. So may I call your attention? That's why I say let's restrict ourselves to establishing through this young man that is under oath that yes, if I were members, would have just stopped at yes, we have established that. Every question that negates establishing, concretizing with evidence that the employment have been taking place in federal character, I think we should leave that on to federal character appear on Friday. Then we go into that session. Please, I will not need to gather, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to cross-examine the secretary of the Federal Character Commission and then the professor. First and foremost, you have submitted before this panel, and indeed your chairman, that you have not recruited and that the process is not completed. So it's ongoing. I don't want to put it to you that if the process is ongoing and you have not completed, does it allow you to employ while the process is ongoing. That's there. And secondly, the professor, you have also established before us that somebody, one could surreptitiously employed, and that you uncovered that it was a scam. But I also put it to you that it cannot be a scam. Or will you consider a scam somebody is already benefiting from salaries, is already being paid for employment so given, and so you still call that a scam?
Can I respond, sir?
So I need to put it to you, you are a professor,
Can I respond, sir?
and to say that if that has happened, and that person is still on employment up till now, your staff that committed the fraud is still employed, and he has not been fired, you have just reported to us. There are disciplinary procedures so established by every organization that you discipline staff. So, as somebody of your own caliber, you have not done anything. I just put it to the two of you.
My fellow colleagues and invited guests, we are before Nigerians. The secretary to the commission and professor, the commissioner from Oyo State, I owe all of you a duty of care, which I want to discharge. Secretary, you are a lawyer by profession, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
You know the implication of addressing the parliament on oath?
Yes, sir.
And if your evidence, testimony are found to be untrue, you know the implication?
Yes, sir, I do.
What is the implication?
I'm committing perjury.
And what is the sanction?
It's an offense.
Eh?
It's an offense.
So what would be the sanction, the punishment?
No, perjury is an offense, I know. This.
So I'm just trying to tell you
Yes, sir.
that you may be out of circulation for some time.
No.
So
I understand. Yes, sir.
I have discharged the duty of care I owe you. Because based on your testimony and that of Professor Olowo Fela, right? I don't want the two of you to mislead this committee. I don't want the two of you to undermine this committee by testimony. Because Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I want to cross-examine the Secretary to this Commission. Thank you. The Secretary, do you have manpower assessment from head of service? I am asking a question. You
Yes.
have one.
Yes, sir, we do.
For which period to which period?
Yes, sir. 2023. 2023. 2023.
Okay, I'm asking from 2011 to 2023.
2011. 2011.
To date, how many assessments have you had?
Every year we do submit that assessment.
Okay, do you have them?
Yes, I'll cross-check in the office. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I apply that the Secretary to this Commission should furnish this committee with the various manpower assessments approval from the head of service. Mr. Secretary, further to the observation raised by my leader from Lagos, I want to ask you again. Prior to assumption of office by Dr. Mibad Ankaka, were there employments in Federal Electoral Commission?
From the records that we have submitted, in 2018 we had approval to recruit from all.
Excuse me, sir.
I'm coming to it.
No, excuse me. I have said that late. The approval, not assessment, is what the officers have given to you.
Yes.
And I'm asking you that before the assumption of office of the chairperson, Dr. Mibad,
yes, sir.
Were there employments carried out by the commission?
I am coming to that, sir. Because that one I explained.
You answer my question. You are secretary. You are the co-founder of this commission. And I put it to you again. Were there employment carried out?
No.
I'm not asking you a question. I'm asking the secretary.
Sorry. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. That's the preamble. Thank you. That's the preamble I am laying. In the preamble that I'm laying, sir, in 2018, we had approval to recruit, which was duly utilized. In 2018, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm coming. Prior to July 2020. 2020, yes. Now, in 2019, we also had approval from the head of service to utilize 68 positions. I'm not sure about it because I didn't come with the records, but I think between 63 and 68, which was duly approved by the then chairman. It was utilized, but on the assumption of duty of the current commission, that utilization was cancelled. I can say it on record.
The secretary, I think one of your JT, part of your JT is to be conscious of this commission and to guide the chairperson and all the commissioners. You've been a careerist in that commission. Mr. Chairman,
yes.
I want to ask you again, for the last time, if employments were carried out before and immediately after Dr. Miban Agaka assumed office.
Sir, let me answer this question.
Yes or no?
No, I can't. It's not a yes or no answer, sir. Thank you. Because the answer is not a mathematical question. What I'm saying is, in 2018, we had approval to recruit, which we utilized. In 2020, in 2019 or 2020, we also had approval for 63. I think 2020, we had approval to recruit 63. I'm not sure of the figures, which we also utilized, but later it was cancelled, sir.
So after that, remaining the second leg of the question, after that, after 2020, was there any?
Not to my knowledge, sir.
On the 11th of January 2021, you signed a letter of employment under your signature, Dr. Muiba F. Dankaka OOM, and give employment on that same day to one officer who is put in care of Modibo Adama University of Technology. The name is Abdul Malik Issa Ahmed. I put it to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And the letter of knowledge is under the signature.
Yeah, no. And July 2020. And during the time when we were to be captured by the whole commissioner, about 63 or 64 of them went into IPPIs. I was not aware, but after we've been captured, I got information that they captured 63. I now called the HR then, where is the file for the 63? She told me she doesn't have. Where is the CV for 63? She mentioned she doesn't have. And I called 6 commissioners, 1 per zone, to interview. And it was at that point, we knew that they don't have file, they don't have CV. And I took the whole thing to the plenary. Collectively, they said we should ask the 63 of them to go away. It's inside our plenary for that period. And that was how we asked all the 63, and they have started collecting money. We asked them to go away. Then I sent a letter to IPPIs. It's inside this thing. They should please cancel all the 63. And according to them, it has been done. After we learned that there are another 24 inside the system, I sent the same letter across to them. It was a new, then the old HR asked for secondment. And I asked the secretary to the commission, he said he was not aware. And when we asked the other one, I asked her to give her query. The next thing she brought letter that she's moving to another organization, secondment. After that issue, I sent a letter for the 24 to IPPIS. I thought maybe they have done it. But when we got there, to go to the commission, I found out that we don't have protocol, somebody that will be in charge of our traveling. I requested from the secretary to give us somebody. This Kolo, Aruna Kolo, had been with the system more than 10 years before we came. And then he gave us Aruna's Kolo to be with us so that when we want to travel, somebody will be at the airport. But surprisingly, we later learned that, I just learned about it now, it's not more than 3 weeks, that the Kolo is the IPPI, the desk officer in our office, unknown to me. The letter that we went out is they forged my signature because when I came in, as if I knew, I went to meeting and printing. The MD was in my office. And I begged them to change our letterhead paper, to do a new waiver in form of certificate, security, and it was done. So as at the time they signed this one, because I have this one under my law in the office, they don't have access to it. They used the old letterheaded paper, which was distributed around, and that was what they used and signed with my signature. They forged it. Yes. I swear, I should not swear. That was what happened.
Listen.
And Kolo is not my PA. Exactly. Kolo is not my PA. Kolo is not my SA. I wasn't the one that brought Kolo. Kolo is part of them. Not knowing that Kolo himself is the leader of those people themselves. This one we are talking is about Federal Character Commission. It's not about the MGAs.
The way we are seeing this thing is different from the way other people are seeing it.
Exactly.
But let me come in. Not exactly. I mean, let me come in. One, there was area for me to tell you that we listen more than you. In the accusation against her and her response, I have seen other commissioners mention Haruna Kolo in their petition. Am I right? Now I am hearing the chairman federal character. We are hearing the chairman federal character disowning Kolo and equally making reference to IPPIS. So we should not put our mind at one person. We are to investigate institutions. So I'm interested in the mentioning of IPPS as well as Kolo Aruna being a tax officer of IPPS, not interested in the politics and in the federal character. So your mindset is to the politics of federal character. Our mindset as members of the committee to investigate roles in our public institutions is beyond federal character and IPPS. So allow us without interjection to get the information we want. If the other commissioners have referenced Haruna Kolo, the chairman is equally referencing Haruna Kolo, disowning Kolo, it means we have more agencies. This opportunity given to federal character is giving us opportunity to suffocate a lot of agencies to explain the trust Nigerians have given to them regarding to their taxpayer. Everybody will be heard in this public hearing. But let us do it with them, please. Please, I give you 2 minutes to finish.
Committee, which is a standing committee, to look into it, and I put Kano commissioners to be in charge. Whereas at that level, we have one person, 6 of them, and about 4 directors. It was then they brought the report to me. Based on that report, I sent letter immediately to DSS. And I sent letter to where Kolo went to, that they should please provide us with Kolo to come down to the commission and explain to us what happened. Up to today, we don't receive Kolo. And at the same time, I sent letter to ICPC to help us look for Kolo. And this Kolo has been in the system for more than 10 years before I came in. And it was posted as
Thank you. You are 2 minutes to stop.
Thank you.
Abdul Malik Isa, are you here? You are under oath. Yourself, clerk. Put me on record. If a letter did not get to Haruna Kolo today, summoning him to appear before this committee together with Isa Ahmed, the secretariat will be held responsible. That is our ruling. Isa Ahmed, Kolo Haruna, the former HR, is he alive or is dead?
He's with AMCOM.
No. The
And
former HR is dead.
IPPS, director himself, on Friday, we want you to appear alongside. Okay, we have someone in this office. I'm coming, sir. Let's appear here on Friday unfailingly, together with the federal character. We have established within the little opening that aside of the things we are relying on federal character to give us regarding to other agencies, federal character itself has a question to answer regarding to employment recklessness and other fraud within that institution. That has been established. We will come any submission you have, a commissioner independently, a chairman against chairman in favor, regarding to employment in federal character. Put it in paper, in written, and submit to this committee. We are interrogating clearly federal character on Friday, but come with these two witnesses that we have asked them to come. Again, it will help us in our investigation. Haruna Kolo was featured. I read the other petition from the other commissioners very well, that there is an account number and what I write a letter to the CBN governor. I will sign myself to give us detailed statement of accounts in respect to Haruna Kolo and other people mentioned in the petition, please. I so move. Fair hearing. That is the word that is giving us tough time.
When we stepped in, I did numerous publications which I sent to her WhatsApp messages on racketeering, thinking that we have come to change the narrative. And I had spoken also, I have all here, documents where I spoke to our committee member, our members here, to say it is too early to start fighting. I have it here where I called her mother when we started. I had all the advices I gave to her to change the narrative and do the needful. So we are not fighting her. We are representing our people. We are not allowed to represent our people. I thought when she said we are to be indicted, she would have said she gave me even one job to give to Enugu and I sold it. But record has it that not one for 3 years. So be patient enough. And because of the exigency of time, sir, I will submit this document to you. This is WhatsApp messages shared between I and Dankaka on, our chairman, and these are the documents. And also where I tried to speak to her, even when she said, congratulations, this is 2nd anniversary. And I said, there's nothing to celebrate, ma. Can we make amends and let this place run according to the extant rules that establishes us? And I used my money, over 410,000 naira, to send this racketeering issue to Punch. Nations, they are all here. And I sent all those to her WhatsApp messages. The ISP can actually go further into investigation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The chairman have said that they have written letter to IPPS stopping Kolo and other people from being paid. Did I get her right? And equally, she have written to DSS to investigate. We have to go to equity with clean hands. All those letters that when you discover there were fraud in your recruitment, that you stop and you wrote letter, give us evidence. We should talk to those evidence. If at all you have discovered that there was illegal employment that is forged by your letter or something, and you have written IPPS, you said 2 times to stop, give us so that we will know the interest. Since you have alleged that Haruna Kolo is a tax officer of IPPS, and you have written 3 times to IPPS, between federal character and IPPS, we will know who is interested in paying illegal employment. That letter will help us to establish where the wrong is channeled to.
How did Kolo get to AMCON? How did Kolo, according to you, ma'am, Kolo has been with the Federal Character Commission before you assumed duty.
Exactly.
He's been there for 10 years.
More
than 10 years. So, ma'am, how did Kolo now become a staff of AMCON?
I will not know.
Maybe resign, but I have to stop his salary.
He has not resigned.
He has
Federal
not.
Character Commission.
He
So
has
is he
not.
your staff?
Yes.
Is he your staff?
Yes.
Okay, was he redeployed?
No, he just went there
He went there to Alma. He got a new employment there.
So when did
But
you
I
stop?
stopped his salary.
Excuse me, sir. When did you stop his salary, sir? When?
That was, I think, May.
Eh?
May.
This year?
Yes.
When did he join AMCON?
Well, I wouldn't really know. I wouldn't really know because I discovered that he has not been coming to work.
So, Mr. Chairman, I apply.
Thank you.
I want to apply, Mr. Chairman, that they and the HR should appear before this committee with the details of engagement appointment of Polo in that agency. That's my application. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
It is sustained with a clause. We will bring that to AMCON to respond to it instead of inviting them on that subject matter alone. So I sustain your application, but with amendment that the AMCON DG will explain that aspect. We appreciate your maturity of conducting yourself well to this public hearing. May I ask you to take your leave?
Oath/affirmation. I do solemnly and sincerely swear affirm that the testimony I shall give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
I just want to first of all thank you very much for this opportunity of fair hearing that you've also given the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation. We have our presentation here. The presentation is adopted and we submit it to the committee.
You may wish to go on with your presentation, please.
The Office of the Head of Service has also been trying to ensure that only people that have been employed get onto the IPPIS payroll. And in 2020, we actually hosted a meeting of the Office of the Head of Service, the Federal Civil Service, the Federal Character Commission, the Federal Civil Service Commission, and the Budget Office to try to streamline the processes, because we saw that it was becoming too cumbersome and MDAs did not understand the process. And so we had this meeting, and after the meeting, I wrote a letter to the SGF, and that was when a circular was issued in 2020 describing the process for every MDA that wants to employ in the service. And since then, that is the process that the office has been following. So I just needed to say that there's a process that we have put in circular form to ensure that the process of employment goes smoothly. And what we also try to do is that at the beginning of every year, we insist that MDAs come to the Office of the Head of Service for manpower budgeting, because that is what comes before vacancies. So we always insist that all MDAs should come to the Office of the Head of Service to tell us the number of people that are in post and their strategic plan, so that we'll know if it is time for them to expand or not. And that is what determines the waivers that we grant to MDAs. We don't just grant waivers, we ensure that they do their manpower planning, and it is after the manpower planning that we grant waivers when they apply. And when agencies apply also, there are several things we look at. How many people have left the agency from the in the last 2 or 3 years? What kind of expansion have they had? and what are the requirements? Do they really need more manpower, or they just want to employ for the sake of employment? So we look at all that before waiver is granted to agencies. We also try to liaise with the IPPIS office. Recently, I think sometime last year, initially when we were granting waivers, we always just give them a number that you can employ X number. But when we saw that these blanket numbers were being misused, we now went ahead to describe each officer that must be employed. So our new letters that we give describes how many people, what grade level, and what cadres they must employ into, and then it has a total number also. So we don't just give a blanket waiver anymore. In addition to that, the letter also tells them to obtain clearance from Budget Office and the Federal Character Commission. We also insist now that the waiver granted should not be varied, or should it be exceeded. And we also advise them that after the recruitment is done, they should send the Office of the Head of Service the list of successful candidates that they have employed. And this is just so that we can liaise with the IPPIS department to ensure that it is only those that have been employed credibly that are put on the IPPIS platform. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, Head of Service, I've seen your submission, and I want to ask, ma'am, that when you grant approval for both waiver for MDAs to recruit or to approve their manpower needs, do you issue any certificate or letter document to that effect, ma'am? That's my first question. You may want to answer, ma'am, so that I can go further.
Give them their establishment positions in letter form.
So,
and when we grant waivers also, we give letters.
So thank you, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, sir. I will request that the Head of Service furnish this committee with all the approvals, waivers, and manpower assessment needs granted to all the MDAs, please. I want you to furnish, in addition, let's say from the year she mentioned there, 2015, that's all. So, ma'am, please furnish that. Secondly, ma'am, your office, do you recruit? Head of Service, do you recruit? Who recruits for you?
The Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation does not recruit. We are not a recruiting
who recruits for you, ma'am?
Agency. The Federal Civil Service Commission recruits for the Office of
For your office?
Yes.
Lovely.
And for other ministries.
Okay. So, ma'am, are you saying your office do not recruit workers from level 1 to 6?
Okay. The recruitment of junior staff is what the Civil Service Commission has delegated the Office of the Head of Service to do. It's their responsibility, but they have delegated that responsibility to the Office of the Head of Service.
In that case, ma'am, please, we want you to furnish us with the details, the records of that category of workers that you recruited during the period under consideration. Is it true that for any approval you grant, ma'am, for waiver, that Head of Service also get 10% of such allocation?
Before you answer that, let me remind all of you that we are under oath. Thank you.
I want to categorically state that the Office of the Head of Service renders service to MDs, and we do not request for any kind of percentage, either 10% or 1%. We do not. In fact, the first time I had that rumor, I called the director and the permanent secretary in charge of that, in charge of waivers, and I told them categorically that I must not hear that kind of thing anymore. If they were doing it before, which I really don't think that has happened.
And lastly, Mr. Chairman, my last question. What is the basis of determining seniority in civil service? Is it based on the first date of appointment or qualification?
The seniority, the PSR actually explains how seniority is determined. The first thing you look at is the promotion date. If the people have been in service, then you look at the date of promotion. That is the first thing.
No, what of the date of employment, the date of resumption?
It is when the date of promotion is exactly the same. That is when you now go back to date of first appointment. But what you look at to determine promotion first is the date of promotion.
You know,
so it is only when the date of, because promotions are, sometimes some people get promotion at the same time. So if the date of promotion, last promotion, is the same thing, then you can now go back and look at antecedents. But what you look at first and foremost is the date of last promotion.
Under what law does the Act establishing Civil Service Commission give them that mandate to further concede their responsibility to the office of head of service? I think that I need to be informed. Thank you. Or the committee need to be informed. Thank you.
Sir, the Federal Civil Service Commission is the one in charge of all recruitment into the federal service. However, in their guidelines for appointment, promotion, and discipline, it is stated there that that responsibility of the commission has been delegated not only to the office of the head of service, but to every ministry. It's not only office of the head of service that recruits from grade level 1 to 6. It is all ministries that have that delegated authority from the Civil Service Commission, sir.
Whether you have any mechanism or desk officers in every ministry, department, agency?
We have a department under the Permanent Secretary Special Duties Office that goes round, they will collect the waiver, and we've done it in such a way that it is not the office that issues the waiver that goes round to monitor, just so that we are sure of what is happening. And also, because of our resources, unfortunately, we cannot go to every establishment. So what we do is to take establishments from each of the geopolitical zones and now go and monitor and ensure that they have not exceeded our waivers. And one thing, there are also, what we have done, we also wrote to the Accountant General of the Federation that they should ensure that the IPPIS department should not enroll any staff newly employed by any organization if they don't have 3 approvals. 1 from the Office of the Head of Service, 2nd from the Budget Office, and 3rd from the Federal Character Commission. So if any institution goes to them to enroll without any of these 3, then they should not be enrolled. And they should also follow, now that we have in our letters for waiver, we have actually put the cadres and requisites there, they must follow the cadre. So if we have granted waiver to employ, for example, 10 doctors and 2 accounts officers, and the institution turns it around, they cannot enroll more than what waiver we have given to them.
As a follow-up, what happened to any ministry, department, or agency that has defaulted in whatever waivers they have given them? What happens after that?
Most of the time, what we have seen is that MDAs employ more than the waiver we have given. And when that is done, it's difficult for them to enroll those people on the IPPIS platform. So that is one of the mechanisms. And then we also ensure that when they come the next year for manpower planning, we tell them that you exceeded the number you are supposed to employ, and so this year you will not get any waiver.
Okay, ma'am, just a follow-up. You were here, you were Federal Character Commission, and you were also privileged to know that they also alleged, is an allegation, that somebody on the desk of the IPPS also perpetrated some evils. You have also given us your criteria, which are commendable, to ensure that we have a smooth operation that is on, followed to the latter. Do you, in the course of your experience as head of service, have you experienced any agency that have violated? And have you ever meted any sanction? Thank you.
Several. And we've also discovered some IPPIS staff in some MDs that are also perpetrating some evil in the system. And what we do consistently is that once we discover that there's some foul play, especially when it comes to the IPPIS enrollment, we inform ICPC immediately. We do a letter, inform ICPC, and then we start disciplinary action against them. We do not just rely on ICPC, we now commence disciplinary action against those officers. And I can say that, we've had several officers that we have disciplined just because of their role in this.
The agencies applying for waivers, it came with a caveat that not to advertise. And I think, but that's what some of the reports, is stated in their reports that they got waiver and another waiver not to advertise for employment.
To conclude, I'll conclude with few issues. Carefully, I'd listened to you saying how you evaluate ministries, agencies to see their manpower requirements. The university system is very critical to our own survival. And most of the universities, particularly Lagos, I can make mention of so many of them, if I have not been given the opportunity to recruit for over almost 7 years, 10 years. And we want university education to be strived. Are you vested? If you are not vested with the responsibility of granting approval to university to employ, don't respond. We'll target this question to the agency that is responsible. If you are, why have you not been able to put a technical team in place to study the dichotomy in terms of manpower that exists in our universities?
If you look through our documents, you will see that quite a number of universities have been and polytechnics have been granted waivers in the last few years. I'm sure university teaching hospital, even University of Lagos, I am sure we have granted them.
In any case,
Yes.
since we will have another interaction
But I
with
just
you.
want to give some background, sir. I think sometimes in 2021, I had a meeting with the Executive Secretary of Nigerian University Commission, NUC, on this issue of recruitment in our tertiary institutions. And what the concern we had was at that time was that when we give universities waivers, the concentration is that they employ more non-academic staff than academic staff. And that was giving us a lot of concern. And at that meeting, we also agreed that for any institution that wants waiver, they must first of all go to NUC and apply to NUC. NUC will look at their request, ensure that those percentages are correct, and then that request will come to the Office of the Head of Service through the Ministry of Education. And that was agreed on at that meeting. Because it is NUC that supervises the universities directly. And they agreed with me that that is becoming a big problem.
It's not about finding out rots. It's equally about correcting some abnormalities in the system in terms of ensuring that the system functions. It's part of the time of reference of this committee. But be that as it may, at the right time, we may have our own reservation to that bureaucratic bottleneck. It is. National Assembly appropriate money to agencies. Do you have to come back to National Assembly because we perform supervisory role to those MDAs before you spend money? It's a bottleneck. This is one of the efforts by the 10th Assembly to ensure that we have corrected a lot of wrongs in our public institutions. And we are going to do just that. That will save government, it will save you, it will make sure that things work. But to conclude, with utmost respect, ma'am, I think we need some documents from you. He had earlier applied that we need all the waivers granted from 2015 till date. Yes, give us soft copies. Yeah. Give us soft copies. Yes, we need them. Aside of that, we need all approvals from your office to all the agencies so that if we are interacting with those agencies, we should be able to know what really we are talking about. And again, you say that you have sanctioned some agencies, particularly writing to EFCC, ICPC, query those agencies. Help us with those queries and sanctions. It will help us in simplifying our engagement with those agencies. Some will come here and say they have not committed wrongs. At least if you are writing to us, it's under secret. It's between your office and the secretariat of this committee. It is not like mentioning it in the pages of newspaper, and at the right time, we will mention it. It's not you that. So do us a favor by communicating those decisions regarding to agencies of government that have defaulted in one way or the other. And again, something bothered me. If you have all these constraints, I think this is to prepare IPPIS. How comes you have a lot of roads? That somebody will sit down, either rightly or wrongly, they say forged signature, or a chairman of an agency or this will give you employment and you see the person receiving salaries. It means too that we have a lot of questions to answer. At this level, give us the document we require. We've learned our lesson from federal character. We may interact with you personally and officially on some of the petitions, with utmost respect, written against your office. If you talk like this and you are trying to help the committee to find a lasting solution, we may not be as aggressive. I'm not scared of the cameras. We should be able to give you the platform to explain why some certain decisions were not taken.
Talk a little bit on IPPIS. IPPIS is just a payroll software. And the software is actually housed in the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. The Office of the Head of Service has a role in the IPPIS because we are responsible for the human resource aspect of the IPPIS. So what happens is, let me go back in history. Ideally, the two should have gone hand in hand. A payroll system should go with the human resource system. But unfortunately, the Office of the Accountant General went faster than the Office of the Head of Service, and so they were able to payroll staff without the addition of the human resource aspect of the IPPIS. So what the Office of the Head of Service is doing now is just playing catch-up with IPPIS. And what we're doing is to ensure that everybody that is on the payroll, the qualification, all the human resource information of that person is also on that system. So the letter of employment is on, we now have put the letter of employment, all the person's qualifications, the NYSC, the promotion letters. Right now we have all of that for core civil servants, and we verify those things. What I mean by core civil servants is the people working in ministries. That's what we call core civil servants. So the Office of the Head of Service has been able to verify all those people in the core ministries as at January of this year. And we've also moved outside of that to start the verification of officers in the non-core agencies and parastatals. We've done the first round of going to the parastatals to ensure that we capture everybody, because we have to capture all public servants, their picture, their fingers, and then their qualifications and letter of employment. So we've done that for the core civil servants, and now we are going out to the parastatals to ensure that the payroll now has everybody's particulars, not just your name and your agency, but it will now carry your particulars. And while we are doing the verification, we discovered that there are a lot of people that were not supposed to be on the payroll, but were on the payroll, and they couldn't come out for verification. And so all those people have been kicked out from the payroll. And that's why we're now going to the parastatals and agencies of government to ensure that everybody that is on the payroll, we have all their documents. However, the Office of the Accountant General is still the IPPIS department in the Office of the Accountant General is still, for now, they are the ones that enroll people onto the IPPIS platform for now. By the time we finish the verification completely, I am sure that that system will change going forward.
Help us with the details of those facts you discovered and the agencies they represent. It will guide us in interacting further with such agency and trying to trace the individuals that are co-travelers in this kind of a thing. Accountant General and IPPS, we will get to that. We will need your cooperation sincerely in this regard. You made mention of, in conclusion, before you take your leave and go, of human resources, and we whisper to each other. In the software that was given to us just yesterday, and some little information about IPPS, this is on the lighter mode. Don't be a civil servant here. Give summary. You are the one that pinch us here. That's why I'm asking this one. If you talk like a civil servant, we will talk like politicians. So now there is an aspect of human resources part of that. And I saw money being expanded for IPPS, amounting to billions of naira, paying either consultant or software charges and what have you. I think you will begin to think in that regard. By the time committee get those information in their disposal, we sit down and talk. It is better we save government resources of paying software or something into billions. Isn't it better Office of the Head of Service give the responsibility of manpower management and you pay maybe 10% of that charges to ensure? I will not want engagement on this.
No, I just need to correct you that it is not the Office of the Head of Service that amount is.
I know it is the IPPS, the software. So I have seen that information definitely. So I am portraying your fact that the aspect of human capital management should be managed well. Give Nigerians opportunity to man some of those agencies and institutions instead of paying software some huge amount of money to manage. Well, by the time we engage other agencies, I think we will need to seek clarification. But at this juncture, the committee will study. We need that. Since you operate digital, it's just a matter of using your password to get those information back to us tomorrow. So if we get the information tomorrow, we'll communicate you further on when you are going to have a peaceful interaction with this committee. So but we'll find time to call IPPS after all interaction. Call you, budget office, federal character, and see where we can talk to ourselves. The ones we can harmonize among us, we do. The one we can report to the Hallowed Chamber, we definitely go that level. Thank you. While you take your leave, remember to give us 5 different submissions tomorrow. Yes? Record of fake appointments and their agencies. I have them. Desk officers should equally be posted here to work with us where we need information. Waivers, approvals, and your study of gaps to each agency and how they can be filled up. You are vested with the responsibility of determining cities. So you made mention of something like that. So we need those documents too. Thank you very much. Thank you. You may wish to take your leave.
The public hearings continue, and you can be sure we will bring you more of the outcomes in subsequent episodes of the program. My name is Mitaire Ikmen. Thank you for watching. See you next time.